Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Built for the Stage podcast. This is Joe Roscoe, founder and host of Built for the Stage, Broadway's #1 fitness platform. If you haven't tried out Built for the Stage, go to builtforthestage.com and you'll be on your way with a 1-week trial on an interactive fitness app being coached by none other than myself. Builtforthestage.com. All right, let's get on to our special guest. Special guest as always. Currently, they're over in the UK doing what I'm excited to hear about, a new production of Guys and Dolls. The setup of the theater is a bit different. It's an immersive experience from what I hear. Our guest is actually originally from South Africa, and they were also seen in musicals like Moulin Rouge. And here they are in Guys and Dolls. And I can't wait to get to learn and know our guest a bit more. Please welcome to the podcast, Tino Sibanda. And the crowd goes wild. So good afternoon to you. Good morning to me. I am so excited to get to chat with you. Selfishly, Guys and Dolls was the first musical I ever did. So like this one like is gonna hold true to my heart. So I'm excited to get to chat with you, get to learn about you and also the show. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
All right, let's jump into a fun little section that I prepped you for. I'll let you know it's going to happen. The BFTS hot seat. We just like to shake it loose a bit here. You know, get the face cheeks smiling a bit. Hopefully, get us laughing and get us ready for an amazing conversation. So, everyone that's listening out there when this airs, I hope you're ready. So we're about to start the BFTS hot seat. Gonna cue up our music here. Drum roll, please. All right, first question. No big deal. What was a movie that you saw that you still to this day cannot stop watching? Like a movie that at any time it comes on, you're gonna watch that movie.
Okay, so funny that you start with this question. I don't watch anything twice.
Oh, amazing. Okay, perfect answer.
So there is no movie that I've watched twice.
Wow. To me, I can't fathom that. As a child, I would have like movies that, every single day I'm watching that movie. So that's hilarious. Okay, cool. Good first question. Let's go to our next one. If you could get into a time machine and go to any like time period and place, so maybe like a decade and a place, where would you go?
Ooh. I feel like I might sit in the 20s, like
Okay.
1920s, cute. I feel like fashion looked cool. And I'm going to say, I don't know, Paris.
Hey, amazing. Okay, Paris in the 20s sounds like a great answer to me. What's one of your most fun childhood memories that you have?
Just being able to play outside in South Africa, and stars are a thing, whereas in the UK, I feel like I don't see stars much.
I get that. I'm from Ohio here in the US, and when I visit my family, it amazes me that I can really hear the birds. And it sounds so silly, but like in New York where I'm at, you don't hear these like chirping birds everywhere just living their best life.
I hear that.
All right, if you were in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, who are the 3 people that you'd want on your team?
Okay, my best friend Victoria. We already have like a code. We know that if we ever got jumped, we know what we'd do back to back.
Okay.
My mum, she just knows stuff. She knows how to deal with, like, handle stuff.
Yeah.
And someone as foolish as me. So, one of my closest friends called Owen, who's actually in Simba and Lion King at the moment, because he probably has some Pride Land techniques.
Okay, great. Yeah. I love how you chose 3 people that you knew, that tells a lot about you. I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
You didn't go like the celebrity movie star action person route. You're like, you know what? I need to know these people if I'm going to
Hmm.
go through the trenches with them.
Loyalty.
All right, last question. It is a bit of a segue question to get a little bit more serious, but what is one of the best pieces of advice that you've gotten, whether it's life wise or career wise, that daily you can like rely on this mantra, if you will?
Mm. That I get to cultivate my joy. So I get to
Mm,
choose what that looks like and how to tap into it. And that if I lean into that, I'm pretty much unshakable. Um,
amazing.
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. You nailed the BFTS hot seat. Congratulations. We're off it now. So I love that. Yeah. You're in control of your own joy. I love that. Okay. So let's get into your past a bit of growing up. How long were you in South Africa? When did you make the journey over to the UK? Let's start there.
When I was 10, so I
Okay.
moved across. My parents are Zimbabwean. They moved to South Africa, raised in South Africa till I was about 10. And then I moved to the UK, West Yorkshire, Leeds, when I was 10 years old.
Amazing. And then
Yeah.
when did the arts happen?
So I'm a late starter, which I don't really believe is a thing.
Hmm.
But I started late in comparison to like a lot of my colleagues. When I'm sort of introduced to contemporary dance quite young, like on a Saturday after college or anything like that. And my mum used to run like an African dance group, but I was very much just the daughter of the woman that ran it. She doesn't dance, but she just ran it. Um, and then I really wanted to be able to dance because being, I guess, Southern African, I've grown up like music and movement is a big part of our culture in general. So I was always around it, but it was probably when I went to college, which is sort of, we call it A levels, um, that kind of time in my life, which is 16 to 18, that I did a performing arts course. And again, just because I didn't really enjoy the academics as much as I did like practical stuff. And then from college, I remember my teacher being like, you should audition for a dance school because you seem really happy when you do it. So give it a go. And then I auditioned for a couple of places in London, got into a specific place and then chose to train there. So 18 is when I properly went, oh, dance can be a career. I'm going to learn how to do jazz and tap and all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, so dance came first. How about the singing part or the acting? Is that when you started like your proper training or?
Yeah, well, I grew up in church, so singing was always there, just never you could pay your bills with it, if you know what I
Mm,
mean.
yeah.
It was an extension of Christianity, for me anyway at the time. And then acting, which I now believe is like the root of it all for me personally. Like you act, and then I happen to tell the story through movement as an extension of it, and I'll
Mm,
happen to sing as an extension of that. But I sort of was dabbling more in contemporary dance and physical theatre, which leaned more into the acting than it did the singing or the dancing, to be fair.
mm-hmm.
So dance was definitely or is definitely my first love. It sits in my core like nothing else does. But I knew about singing because I sang in church, and I guess acting was always the root in my mind anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so you get a late start a bit. You said around, was it 16 to 18, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
And then once I love this, we get this, I get this quite a bit, more than you would think on the podcast. We're like over 200 episodes now. And I love this topic because for people listening that are wanting to pursue this and are coming up with any which reason why it's not meant for them, I think this is a great topic of like, hey, I wasn't doing this since I was 4 years old, like uh, it's not too late. So when you started working professionally or with others, did you ever have that imposter syndrome of like, oh, I haven't been doing this enough or I don't have the experience?
I still have it, first of all, but definitely. And I think similar to when I said, like, I cultivate my own joy, I had to decide that there's something that I had to tell as well. And whether that was my representation was important on those stages. And then I just put my mind to absorbing and learning. And that I could still learn. I had something to offer, but I could still learn on the job. And I remember my first show that I actually danced in heels, for example. I used to stand behind like these giants in my eyes and like copy them and like try figure out what they were doing that helped them. Um, so the imposter syndrome is still there. It was definitely there when I started. I just had to decide that I deserved to be there, because I guess with all storytelling, it's important that it reflects our society. So I had to be there to make sure that there was a reflection of our society. Therefore, I had something that I did offer, and then everything else I could absorb and learn. So yeah,
Cool.
imposter syndrome is a thing.
Nice. I love what you just said. I just wrote it down as a show note. If you're listening right now, go ahead and rewind this about 30 seconds, listen to it again. Okay, so awesome. You said you were in front of or behind these giants. Are there any people, you don't have to say the name if you want, but are there any lessons that like really, or moments that really stick out to you that were like pivotal influences on you as you were developing in your career?
Mm. Like Drew McConey, as a choreographer, held space for artists and dancers who I sometimes feel don't have big voices in our industry. And he was phenomenal at holding space and allowing us to bring what we have to be there. And then just in like dance captains or giants in that sense, who were able to lead spaces and guide people through stuff and note people across a year contract, which I think is also refreshing to have people that care about something through to the end of a process. I remember my first dance partner, as in when I did my first show with partnering in it, like I didn't know a lot about partnering, and took the time to just gently teach me, oh, well, this is how it might be better to hold. This is a finger turn, so maybe try do this. That way your partner feels more in control, and little things like that. So yeah, just phenomenal cast members, I suppose. And someone like Drew McConey, who I really just am inspired by, just in the way he's able to create, but also hold space for people.
Yeah, amazing. So I like to bring this up, like to parallel it to fitness, life, whatever. Were there any moments in your journey that you thought that maybe this wasn't for you, or that you were gonna veer off and call it quits?
Transparently speaking, I feel like I'm there now.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. Uh, and my body feels so tired. And I feel like because I started quite late and I've pushed myself quite a bit, and I don't know what a mark is, or doing anything by the halves. I'm quite a full-on person, so my body is starting to feel a little bit heavier and struggling to recover as much as it, or as quick as it used to. So at the moment, I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, so what else is your body for? And not even in like a sad way, but I feel like for the past couple of years I've really given my all to it, and the aches and pains make me wonder what else my body could do, what else it serves. Before I was dancing, I was doing other stuff. I have other people that inspire me in life that do other stuff, and their bodies are made for other stuff. So yeah, I'm at a bit of a place where I'm like, okay, definitely a break for me after Guys and Dolls, just so I can figure that out as well.
Before Guys and Dolls, were you going basically from show to show, did you feel like?
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
I think the first big pause was the pandemic hitting. But in terms of like starting my training and then into that, definitely. And not even because I maybe couldn't have found stillness, but because I also didn't know what it looked like to find stillness until the pandemic hit. I very much was like, yeah, keep going, keep training. If you stop, you'll drop the ball. You still have so much to learn. Financially as well, like I'm finding that show wise, I can't sustain so I have to choreograph during the day or teach during the day. So I think also that demand and that pressure on the body. But yeah, pretty much show to show.
Okay, so do you embrace that mentality still, or do you search for moderation? What's your journey like with that right now?
I am searching for moderation. I want rest and I want ease, and not in the sense of I want to do, like, even now I want to do my 8 show a week, but I want to know that during the day I can have pause, I can have time to on my Sundays to rest and recharge. So I'm searching. I'm so eagerly searching for for
Got it.
moderation.
Got it.
Mm.
As you've been going on in your career and you're saying that it's a little bit more tough for you to recover, what, if anything, are you doing on a daily or frequent basis of trying to like maintain the body as far as just staying healthy?
Mm. Well, nutrition is a big thing at the moment, and again, I'm trying to figure out what that looks like, because it also changes depending on the show, which is
Mm.
something I feel like I'm finding, and also the older I'm getting, it's also changing, depending on the demands. So nutrition is a big thing. Um, It's funny because I'm working with my company manager, who was my company manager in my second job, and I'm like, I need physio.
Yeah.
I need to go see the physio next week. I'm like booking in, and he laughs at me all the time because he's like, in your first job, I had to beg you to get seen. Like, I literally had to ask you
Mm.
to go in. Like, you'd be like limping when you came into warm up, and then you'd be dancing the show like you weren't limping. So now I'm even like, I'm able to get help when I need that extra help. Um, as far as, because I've been doubling up in terms of working during the day a lot, my sort of maybe like gym life or anything like that hasn't been present, because I've had to sort of commit to 10 to 5 in a school, and then 6 to 10:30 in a show.
Mm.
Um, so as far as that, that's something I'm trying to seize back,
Yeah.
or find for myself now
Mm.
as I'm figuring out my schedule.
Yeah, I love rewinding back to what you said about your company manager saying they had to beg you to get physio, and now you're begging them to get you in. Like, please, everyone listening, like, regardless of how immortal or young you're feeling, it's important to stay ahead of it, because if you get behind it, then yeah, it's a little bit tougher of a hill to climb for sure.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? Preventative care as well, which I feel like
Mhm.
I didn't think about before. I thought, oh well, I do stuff when I need to do it, as opposed to actually I need to be ahead, like,
Yeah.
of looking after my body.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, because that's what fitness is. Like, fitness training at its core, at its creation, was not to get six pack abs. It was for durability. It was for functionality. It was for being able to live in a way that could keep you safe as far as physically. So yeah, cool. Oh, we're touching on. Thank you for letting us highlight all these amazing topics right now. All right, let's jump into like a little bit more specifically the experience of Guys and Dolls. That's the show you're currently in. Again, like I said, it holds some fond memories in my heart. What is Let's just start with this. Like, what do you feel are a few highlights that are different from a Guys and Dolls that people might have seen in the past?
Okay, so the diversity of the cast in a period of time where we probably wouldn't usually have, or be able to see all these people together, is quite phenomenal. Which I think our work, I know we have a responsibility to show what like a time looks like, but I think we also have a responsibility to show what a time could look like. And like with theatre, we sort of are able to reimagine and recreate stuff. So the fact that I can be in Guys and Dolls is quite phenomenal for me. My Adelaide is a black woman, which is phenomenal and beautiful to see.
Mm-hmm.
We have we our stage is in the round, and we have audience sometimes. I mean, I'd be lying if I tried to figure out a number here, but hundreds of people within the pit or the stage with us. So we're constantly moving people around, and we have our phenomenal hosts that are moving people around the action that's happening. We enter in the audience, we interact with the audience, so we have like a really kind of immersive experience, or is that the best word? Immersive, I guess, is the word we use. But for
Mm.
me, it feels more like the audience can literally reach in or be a part
Yeah.
of the experience. That's two things. What's my third thing? Oh, the music is in your ear.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there, like it feels there, so you can literally tap into everything you want to, like depending on how you hear music as well.
Yeah.
So, and it's got a couple of like reorchestrations and stuff like that, which is really cool and nice.
Nice.
Mm.
Okay, what's your favorite number or like a moment in the show for you?
Sit Down, You're Rocking the Boat.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Because Cedric, who I've had the pleasure of working with before, and I know what those vocal folds do, um, is singing, and it's just phenomenal. Like, and it's the first time I think we have majority of the cast on stage together, because usually the Mission Dolls are on their own, or the Hot Box Girls are on their own, and the guys are on their own. But that's the one number where we all have this like massive energy in the literally in the middle of the pit, and the audience all around us. So yeah.
Amazing. Cool. And then how about costume? Do you have a costume that you, because I love the costumes in Guys and Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you're like, oh, every time I put this on, I'm loving it.
I guess I'm back. I spend a lot of time in my Mission outfit,
Okay, got it.
and I like my Mission outfit.
True.
But also, I'm a bit of a fool, so I just find it quite silly, and I enjoy being quite silly in it in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Mission definitely can't go wrong with a skirt that goes below your knee. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so being silly in it, this makes me think about like backstage antics. Like, what's the energy like with your cast? How's that been with all of you together back there?
What a playful bunch of humans. I mean, I would argue I'm in the best dressing room ever. Like we there's definitely a sense of cultivating joy in there. We're constantly laughing. I think I put a tweet out like a couple of weeks ago that I start laughing before I enter the building, because I know we're about to have like a funny show or funny day backstage. And just in general, it's just a group of such individuals, and I think everyone is so authentic in themselves that it's just always full of like light in the space, alongside other stuff. Like, we're human, right? So we have like our down days and stuff like that, but generally speaking, everyone is just so authentic that it's easy to just jump off of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, nice. All right, so hopping off of Guys and Dolls, two more questions, and then yeah, we'll conclude. So, with your career of remaining consistent, how or what do you attribute that to? Besides, you did say like, I don't know what it is to like take my foot off the gas pedal. That might be it, alone. But is there anything else like daily that you make sure is a part of your schedule or routine, that you feel has helped you keep that one foot in front of the other?
Oh, that's a good question. Daily in my schedule routine.
Daily or consistently, just like, hey, this thing or a couple of things, this is a pillar in my life. It could be a person as well.
I mean, well, first of all, I've been with my agent since I graduated, and they pretty much know me as a person. So in terms of like what I stand for, what I don't stand for, what my conditions are, and they really respect that. So in terms of like putting me in safe environments or always supporting me whatever environment I'm in, they've been there consistently. So I guess that's definitely a big factor. I think like I said, it's just knowing that I deserve to be in spaces. So mentally, I think I've been able to cultivate like what am I trying to say? I've tried to stay on top of filling my mind, and keeping my mind healthy so I can keep showing up as best as I can. It's probably.
Yeah, no, what you're saying is perfect, because I was just speaking to a entrepreneurial friend of mine, and we were just talking about the importance of, if you don't believe in yourself or your worth or your deserving nature to be in that space, then no one in that space is going to believe it. You have to claim the space before you allow others to allow you in it.
into the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, cool. And then last question that I'm curious about. You're in London right now because that's your, your career, your theatrical work. Let's say if and when you move on, is London the place for you, or do you ever like say, you know what, I'd love to try XYZ city or country or anything like that?
so I don't know why, but I love Barcelona.
Oh yeah, okay, me too.
It's just the energy there.
Uh-huh.
My partner's from Sweden. I think they have a great culture in terms of how they look after people.
Hmm.
So when I think of rest and recovery and the lifestyle of ease that I think I've like tapped into or spoken about, that seems like somewhere safe, like in that sense. But as much as sometimes I think, oh, I don't want to be in the UK or London, I've definitely made home here.
Hmm.
And it definitely feels like I get the mix of people that I want to be around. The bohemians and the artists are here. Yeah. So dare I say Barcelona or Sweden,
Okay.
but I feel good at the moment in London.
Nice. All right. When this episode airs and you're listening right now, if you think Tino's making the right decision, let her know. But if not, if you have some suggestions, drop them in the comments. Yeah, I'm curious to see what people might say about Barcelona because I feel like you could find some relaxation there. But as a tourist, I think everyone views Barcelona as this big, like, vibrant party scene, um, which it is and can be. But the restoration part, yeah.
Yeah.
Where would you like? How do you find that in Barcelona to you? Like the chill vibes.
Maybe it's when I've gone. Like maybe I've gone when it's been really calm.
Mm,
I'm not really like a party person either, so I don't think I was ever out. I just love the water and the beach and how you can sort of walk. You can almost walk around everywhere.
yeah.
So I've been on my own. It was like my first solo trip, and then I've been back with my partner. And then I had 24 hours, and I decided to take myself to Barcelona for 24 hours.
Okay, you really like you were
I
into it.
really
You like
like it. I
Barcelona.
don't know
Sweet.
why.
Cool. I've been once and I loved it. The food was spectacular. They have those two like famous outdoor markets where you can get tapas and whatever.
Yeah.
I can't remember the names of them, but anyways, yeah, I spent some time in Miami here in the States, and I say the same thing that basically you're saying because I'm not a party guy. So everyone when they hear Miami, they think like cocaine and nightclubs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, no, there's amazing coffee shops and parks and the beach, obviously. So I hear you on that. All right, Tino, it was so great to get to chat and have this lovely little coffee shop chat with you to get to know you. I'm excited. I'm heading to London later in August, and one of your show is one of the shows on my list, and I can't wait to see you up there.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right, Tino Sibanda from the cast of Guys and Dolls. Thanks again for listening. Make sure to follow Tino on the gram. You can find her Instagram handle in the description of this episode. Follow along with her journey in Guys and Dolls, in her career and life. And yeah, actors or athletes, train like one. Later.